Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Landon. We're back with another interview with a college basketball coach to give you guys some insight into what the college coaches think in the recruiting process. Today, we're going to talk to Mari Neberieza from Prairie State College. Mari has some really cool perspectives on a lot of different things that you may not have thought about as a player, as far as social media, how she looks at recruiting, AAU versus high school film, and some other stuff. So let's run this intro and then we'll jump in the interview. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Coach Landon, back with another interview with another great coach that's going to shed some light on the recruiting process and what it means to play after high school. Today, we have Mari Neberieza from Prairie State College, and Coach is going to just answer a couple questions for us and then give you guys some insight to what it takes to get to that next level, or at least some advice on things you may or may not be aware of that can help along that journey. So with no further ado, Coach, I'll go ahead and let you do an intro. Tell them about yourself, your playing or coaching experience, and what led you to Prairie State.
Sure thing. Like Coach said, my name is Mario Neberieza, born and raised on the south side of Chicago. Played in the Catholic League here. I also played a little bit at Moraine Valley Community College, which is the junior college in my area. I got hurt, so got kind of cut short, but I've been coaching for 15 years in Illinois, between Chicago and Central Illinois, every level, junior high to college. It's been a zigzag. I've moved across the state a couple times. At one point, it was 3 times in 9 months, which is crazy. Was part of a state championship winning staff here in Chicago. That's that picture. That's right behind me here. As well as some AAU championships. I've helped send players to every level from junior college to Division One, with a couple who've played professional basketball both overseas and down in Mexico. I coached at the high school level about 2009 to 2016, college level 2016 to 2018, back to high school 2019 to 2023, and I landed firmly at Prairie State College here in the fall of 2023.
Very nice. So, with the end of your first season, kind of talk a little bit about your role as an assistant and your connection or affiliation with the recruiting process.
Absolutely. So I came in August. Our head coach was new as well. He came in June. Tanner Keene came in off the bat. We had to get a couple kids in quickly. We'd only had six, so I got a kid that I had playing for me for a long time. She came in, went out and found another, and we just kind of ran with it. So recruiting wise, we kind of had hit the ground running. So we do it together, right? So we're a Division II level of the NJCAA and a part of Region 4 in the Illinois Skyway Conference. We recruit together, sometimes in person, apart, different games, different gyms, different tournaments, as well as that, and online. When we find a recruit, we talk about them together. We share our notes from the game, share the video, and kind of decide if this player is somebody that we want to pursue. Recruiting has changed in the last 5 years with the availability of film online, with streaming games, and you're able to see kids from all over the country, as well as if you can miss games here. So it's made finding and identifying players quicker and easier for us, for sure.
Definitely, for sure. Technology is a great thing when it works the way we need it to, for sure. Um,
Absolutely.
from the JUCO stance, so I know a lot of schools have multiple assistant coaches. Obviously, at the bigger schools at the 4 year level, some go as far as to have regional scouts and recruits. How does it work for you guys at the JUCO D2 level as far as assistants or the size of a staff at that level?
So technically, my title is I am the lead assistant coach. We have 1.5 stipends for assistant coaches. So as you can imagine, that half stipend doesn't get us very far. We had a student coach this year that helped us out. He was a baller, Judson, but it's just me and Coach Tanner. And we have to split this up together, and we have to figure it out on our own. We don't have a recruiting budget, so everything has to be done creatively. So I always tell kids that if a junior college, especially D2 or D3, are looking at you, they're putting some time and money into you, and really putting it into you. We have 8 scholarships at our school. Division II, I found out that varies. It can be anywhere from 4 to 10. You can be at a school where they won't let you give scholarship outside of your area. Division III does not give out scholarships at all, and Division I has usually 12 to 15, and they offer housing as well. So it's across the board at the junior college level, but the most time you're going to find is just one head coach and one assistant. If they have multiple assistants, they're usually pretty lucky.
Yeah, for sure. Strength in numbers, but sometimes you're not afforded the opportunity to have those numbers sometimes. So I definitely get it. And you did talk about recruiting and scouting players and the the advantages of technology, being able to watch kids on video and highlights, full games, things like that. Kind of give your input on from the recruiting stage. Okay, so you get a hot tip that this kid out of this city is a good player and they're not being heavily recruited and they could help your program. You have to make a decision on the first steps of taking a look at that kid, whether it's highlight videos, full game film, kind of what is your preference? Because I know different coaches at different levels do things different ways. And so some coaches want to see that full game film so they can see body language on a bad play, see if they're cheering on the bench during a good play. Some coaches say, I need this skill set, I need a shooter, I need somebody who's going to knock down 35 to 40% in game. I need a 3 and D. I need somebody who can break their man down off the dribble. I need a stretch for whatever. So from your perspective, when you're in that first, we'll call it the first half of the recruiting process, how do you kind of get the ball rolling and get the recruiting process started and the evaluation more so?
For sure. And I'll tell recruits this. The first thing I do is I go look for Twitter and Instagram, right? Because that's the best. That's usually where I can find highlights, as well as I go on Max Preps. And I know a lot of coaches don't put stats up on Max Preps, but if they do, that's usually really helpful. So those are the first things that I go and look for. Is trying to find social medias. That way I don't have to contact the coach right away. I first want to watch their highlights to kind of get a glimpse of what type of player they are and if they might fit in with our level of play and our style. If they could be a fit, that's when I go full game hunting, right? A good percentage of the time I can find a full game because of these streaming services, right? I can go on NFHS or YouTube or Huddle and go find a game, right? And if not, that's when I try to contact their high school coach and try to get one. What I've tried to tell these young ballers over the years is that the highlights get the coach's attention, but the full game gets their interest, right? I want to watch a full game to see how you react to different runs and different parts of the game. Like you said, how's your body language in both good moments and bad? How do you interact with your coach and your teammates? How is your play at all 3 phases of the game, beginning, middle, and end? If I can't physically go see you live, I want to watch you playing as many full games as I can, right? Because every player has a bad game. So I don't want to just watch one game and say that's it, right? So hopefully, if I can't come see you in person, then I can catch a live stream or, there's multiple games for me to watch. But I really do think it's important to watch that full game. So make sure when you're getting ready for your recruitment, you have that highlight tape that you're putting on socials, but then you also have full games available to share with me or that your coach can send me or wherever that might be.
So, and this one just kind of is an impromptu question, but give me your input on an AAU game versus an high school game. So I have a program and we have guys that come from different high school programs who may not have the best records or may not showcase certain players a certain way, but then I play these players in different positions and we run different systems than what they use in high school. And then I get this version of the player where the high school video might look this way. So, say you're recruiting a player and they're playing obviously on their local high school varsity program, and then they have this club program that may travel and play different levels of competition. Since you do a lot of the initial recruiting and video watching, how does that weigh in on your recruiting side?
So I've been a high school coach as well as an AAU coach, so I know both sides of the coin. I've played kids in a post position that absolutely should be a wing, right? So I think AAU film is important. If you feel that that is your best game and that's it's not your high school, then you can absolutely send me an AAU game and I'll watch it. I was out on Saturday watching AAU games. I'll be out this Saturday doing the same. It's a great place for you to get to play other positions that that you might not get to play in high school because it's not a need for you to do that. Right. And it also AAU is awesome because you have to learn how to play with other people in a short period of time.
Yeah.
So I get to see how you react with others and how you play with others and how you can build a chemistry with somebody that you haven't played for. Unlike sometimes these kids in high school teams, you play with them for 8 or 9 years, right? So just being able to see that ability to morph is something that's important to me as well. So yes, AAU games are absolutely as important. And if a recruit feels that that is a better game for them to watch, please tell that college coach. I always ask kids, what games do you want me to watch? Right? Which games do you feel that you had your best games? And sometimes I'll be like, hey, what's a game that you struggled in? And give them that option. But if the coach doesn't give you that option, absolutely speak up for yourself and say, hey, coach, I'd really like you to watch this AAU game that I watched, or, if you can tune in this weekend, here's my schedule, things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Um, so talking about watching players versus being able to recruit online, how many of your incoming recruits were you able to watch as far as getting to watch them live versus reaching out to them and asking for film?
For sure. The kids we have coming in, we have some transfers coming in as well. So it's had to be filmed because they've been other places or they've been hurt. We mostly try to get the local kids. This year was a little rough because we got a late start. So we're definitely relying on video a little bit more than I like to. I definitely am getting out for AU for next year, but yeah, this year we definitely leaned on it a little bit more. Recruiting for junior college is 365, right? With the turnover being a year or two for each player, you can be replacing 6 to 8 players a year, which is what we're doing this year. We have 4 returning kids. JUCO coach has been dealing with this with the transfer portal and this turnover that the 4 years are complaining about now. We've been years, right? I always want to watch players live. So I do spend a lot of time at the high school games, and I did this past year, but again, coming in late, it was hard to build those relationships. But if I can't watch them live, then yeah, I rely on those streaming services. And I've tried to make connections with different coaches in different regions that will send me players that they think would fit us, right? Building that network with your coaches that you trust is really important. I have a coach down in Tennessee in this transfer from UIS. I got to watch some of her high school films. She didn't play last year, but I'm based on seeing her play in her high school and then trusting this coach that I've known for a long time about her character, right? I'm going to make that decision that I can trust her, that this kid's going to be a really good part of our program. So I think recruits, it's really important that you have a coach that has connections and that, has good relationships with other coaches just so they can put that word out for you and that they can help you. And that if you have if your coach has a network of people, it's only going to make it easier for you to get recruited.
Exactly. I tell kids that all the time. I say recruiting's not solely on you. A lot of it is based on your ability and your grades and you being a good fit, but you have to have someone who can talk to the coaches because they're going to get inundated with messages from parents and players and emails and calls. And if a coach gets a call from another coach, they're going to pick up the phone and at least give them the decency to say what they got to say and hear them out. So I say that all the time to a lot of the players that I have associations with. So we know college basketball. I think I think at the end of 2023, they said statistically it's about 7.5% of high school players end up playing after high school. So aside from skill, we know that it's usually the more versatile kids or the kids that have figured out what they're good at and they kind of put more time and effort into that skill or those skills that get those opportunities. But off the court, personality wise, chemistry wise, just character wise, what type of character from a player are you looking for at PSC?
We love high motor kids who are coachable and that love to play basketball. If you don't love to play basketball, college basketball is probably not for you because there are going to be sacrifices and times that you need to do things that it's going to really strain you and it's going to call into why you're doing this and the purpose. So you really have to want to do this, right? These high motor kids that can be coachable, I need you to be able to take what we're saying. A lot of kids that come to junior college, they're there for a reason, is what I always say, whether it's lacking skill wise, grade wise, maybe with their character a little bit, usually not. So you have to be able to be moldable, right? And be able to be coachable from us to help you to fix, the things that you need to fix so you can go on to the next level, whether, it's D3, D2, NAIA, D1, whatever that might be, whatever skill or that you're lacking, that we can help you. So you have to be open to be coachable and take the experience that I have and that Coach Keen has to be able to become a better player, right? Um, do you do you show up for your teammates, right? You don't have to love your teammates, but you got to respect everybody, right? So when you come onto a new team, especially a junior college where you might be there a year or two, right, you're going to have to get around along with the people around you. It's a small group, it's a small campus. You're not going to have a ton of friends outside of basketball, so your ability to make friends with people, or at the very least be respectful on a teammate level, is very important in junior college, because one drama can it's a house of cards. One drama pulls that card out, it's all gone.
Yeah.
So for us, for Prairie State, like I said, you got to love to play basketball, you got to be able to be coachable, and you got to be able to get along with the people around you, are the three big things for us off the court.
Yeah, I love that. I tell people college basketball will test your love for the game because you're going to miss family vacations, you're going to miss holidays because you're in a tournament over Thanksgiving break and you're not at home. And I tell people, but JUCO is a grind. JUCO will really take that passion and that love for the game and take it to the furthest extreme, because on top of being in that college athlete spotlight and everything you do is magnified in the classroom, in off campus, anywhere they see you wearing that hoodie or that t-shirt, you're going to be recognized. But then you're at a smaller campus, your academics play a bigger part because you need that to be on top of where it needs to be to get to the next level. And it's competitive, it's super competitive. At the 4-year level, kids have an opportunity to come in as a freshman and kind of just get their feet wet and then kind of compete a little as a sophomore. And then by junior and senior year, those expectations start creeping up. We don't really have that time in JUCO. In JUCO, we hit the ground running, and it's like, hey, we need to see what you can help us with this year. If not, then we'll get you ready for next year. If you do well this year, then we got to wash, rinse, and repeat, get you out of here, get somebody else in, and start the process over. So I always tell people JUCO is a grind. It's not for everybody, but if you can make it through JUCO, then you really love the game, and it's a true passion.
100%. You have to come in and want to contribute. And yeah, sometimes it takes an extra year if you come in and, there's a kid in front of you and you can work your way to get to that spot. But also have to remember that there's a kid coming in that might try to take that spot from you, that's trying to be a one and done and trying to be in JUCO for 1 year. So yeah, you're right. It is absolutely a grind. You have to be on top of it, ready to go. Make sure your grades are good so we can get you to that next level, and be ready to just battle every day for your spot and to be out there and play.
Absolutely. So this part of the interview I like to call the fourth quarter, and I just like to give an open mic opportunity to you. Just anything that you would like to share with prospective players that are probably juniors or seniors right now looking to play at the next level, and even the parents. A lot of times the parents hear things from the coaches and they really hadn't thought about it that way, whether it's a social media presence or FAFSA forms or different things to prepare the kids on or off the court, whether it's support or different things. So I like to just give the coaches some time to just kind of give your final words and anything that you would like the players and the parents to hear from a college coach, which is the level that pretty much everybody watching these videos are aspiring to get to. So I'll go ahead and open up the mic to you, Coach.
For sure. And like I said before, a Twitter or an Instagram that is specifically for your recruiting. You could put some personal photos on there as well. We like to see that too, but just something that has highlights and links to your huddle or whatever that might be, just so when I Google your name or I put it in Twitter, it's easy to find, and then it's easier for me to get to know about you. So I think those things are really important. Also, with those accounts, go follow college coaches. Go follow the programs in your area or the ones that you like. And, they might not follow you back, but you will pop up on their feed as something that maybe they need to see. So putting in an hour to go search for those coaches, that'll really help you too. My best advice for high school ballers is you got to put some work in outside of your practices and your season, right? I find that whenever I tell kids this, their eyes get really big, right? Do some ball handling, get some shots up, guards, work on your footwork, 1 to 2 moves, scoring at 3 levels, right? Post, you got to work on your moves and footwork, but then you got to be able to handle the ball and shoot. The way that the game is gone, 4s and 5s or shooting threes, bringing the ball up the floor, you got to be good at a lot of things. You don't have to do it for 2 hours. It doesn't have to be a lengthy thing. 30 minutes a day is enough to get better, right? The more that you do, the more versatile you get to be, which you brought up earlier. And the more versatile you get to be as a basketball player, the more these coaches are going to want you, right? I say this because the more that you can do on the floor for your team, the more valuable you are to that college program and to that coach. The other thing I tell young athletes, go where you're wanted, right? The places that make the most effort to recruit you and that will help you get better as a basketball player and a person, right? Sometimes you got to take the label of what the level is off of it and make a pros and cons list. Is this going to make me a better basketball player, a better person? Is this going to get me on the line that I need to for my career? Because for a lot of women's basketball players, the WNBA is the dream or overseas, but sometimes that's not going to happen, right? So you can use your basketball career to leverage into your career, whatever that might be. At Prairie State, we care about your journey, right? We want to help you grow as a person, as a player. We want to help you achieve that dream of playing college basketball and get you to that next stop that is great fit for you, right? Giving young women the opportunity to play at the next level that might not be getting the looks they want and helping them improve so they can go get that next opportunity, live their dreams. That's why I do this, right? So go to that place that really wants you and puts in that effort, and not the place that's kind of stringing you along because you might find yourself unhappy because, like you said, it's like a grind, right? So you're putting yourself in that place for 2 to 4 years. You have to be happy in that place with those people, with basketball and without.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of kids want to go to D1 or D2 and go to this program because that's the best team that's offered them, but it's not the best fit for them, right? So, I mean, every coach wants to win, every coach wants to be successful, but for me at least, and I know for Coach Keene, I can speak for him as well, making sure that these young women have a chance to do these things and to advance their basketball career and their collegiate career. That's why we do this. And hopefully you can find coaches that feel the same way we do and you can advance your career.
Kids, go where you're wanted.
Yep.
I tell everybody who will listen, coaching is a result driven industry. If we don't win, we will be replaced. No coach wants to not win. No coach says, maybe we'll win, maybe we won't. Every coach at the next level wants to win because their job depends on it, season in and season out. So if a coach is going after you, if a coach is replying to your emails, if a coach invites you to a recruiting visit, if a coach wants to see you on campus, if a coach wants to put you through workouts against their current players, go. You're not too good. Go where you're needed. Go where you're wanted. Thank you for saying that, coach, because I think I don't think they get it, but it's so true. It's so true.
Absolutely. And, I've been saying that for years, even when I was an AAU director and coach. And, I always felt like it fell on deaf ears for a lot of kids. And, thankfully now the transfer portal exists so they can get out of a situation if they make the wrong decision. Because at the end of the day, they're just kids,
Mhm.
right? And you're going to make a decision sometimes that isn't great for you. But surround yourself with the right people around you and you will be successful, right? And as long as the people around you take care of you and you make decisions based on yourself and where you want to be and the type of person that you want to be, then great. Yes, it is all driven by wins, but there's coaches that are winners that are also will be relationship based. So yeah, find that program that's relationship based. They want you there, they need you there, and you should be successful in what you try to do.
There you go. Coach, go ahead and let them know where they can find you on Twitter. I know I have a lot of young ladies that are playing in small towns and putting in work that may not be able to jump onto a college coach's radar. So let them know where they can find you and follow some of your content. And I love the things that you've been posting. So let them know where they can find you on the X or Twitter or whatever we're calling it.
And absolutely, I love small town kids. I knew I grew up in Chicago, but I spent a lot of time in Central Illinois, and I love those small time ballers. Please reach out. No matter the level or state, I will absolutely check you out. My Twitter and my Instagram are the same. They're at Coach Nebs. It's Nebs. Our Prairie State one is at P State WBB for Instagram. Please come check us out. My personal one, like you said, I mean, my personal sports stuff is on there, but I do tweet and retweet a lot about women's basketball as well. So if you can put up with my Chicago sports addiction, you will find some gems as well. But yes, please, it doesn't matter the size of the high school. I've coached at a high school where there was 500 kids there, right? And there are gems in every place. And those are the kids that I want to find. I love finding those kids from those small towns that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. Those are my favorite. So please reach out. My DMs are open. You can follow me. You can follow the program. I run all those as well. And if you run into any of our players as well on social medias right now, they're all open as well to talk to you about it anytime. And one last thing, if you are looking at a program, please reach out to a current player and talk to them about the program because you will never find any more truth than if you talk to a current player of that program.
Facts. That is facts. But thank you again, Coach. I really appreciate you taking some time out of your day to do this. I know this is a busy time of the year when season's over and all the options are starting to dwindle down for some of the players, and you've got to throw your hat in the ring on the recruiting trail. So I really appreciate you taking some time out today. And go follow Coach. You'll definitely appreciate the retweets and some of Chicago-y the Chicagoan, Illinoisan, I don't know what they call them out there, but the people who love the state of Illinois will love Coach's Twitter page for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on and giving me a platform to talk about the game that I love and the program that I work at.
Absolutely. I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.